everyone and welcome back to Being Bethany. Now, before we get started, hit that subscribe button, join the community of small steppers, and now guys, why don't we push? We pushed and we got to 50 subscribers. Why don't we push and try and get to 100 subscribers? That would be, wow, that would really be crazy. I didn't even think I'd get to 50 subscribers, so I feel really happy and pleased and very grateful to you guys. But let's keep on pushing. Let's build that next small step and try and get to 100 subscribers. Now, what are we talking about in today's video? Well, in today's video, I wanted to give you tips on how to have a good night's sleep. And really, the inspiration behind this video was for two reasons. I've always struggled with my sleep. Now, I am in a better place, but I would still like to improve it. But since I was a teenager, I've struggled. When I was a teenager, I used to stay up really, really late and didn't want to go to sleep because I'd get really anxious and I'd, think about lots of things. So in reverse, I would just stay up really late to tire myself out, but that didn't really help. During uni, I got really, really depressed and actually would spend quite a lot of nights crying myself to sleep, which sounds really sad now I say it out loud, but I was in a really bad place. Now, I think I just always feel like I'm never quite getting enough sleep, and I think that's because of the way I go about trying to get to sleep, and then also how I wake up in the morning. And the second inspiration behind this was kind of a realisation moment, because I saw a post on Instagram which talked about revenge bedtime procrastination, and I saw it and I was like, oh my goodness, that's me. That was definitely me when I was a teenager, and I think that's me now. And what it was saying was the fact that, especially, if you're working or if you're anxious, you look at the late time hours, the bedtime hours, as kind of your time to take back control of your freedom almost. As in, if you can't do the things you want to do in the day, then I'll do them all at night time, even if that's like watching loads of things or going on your phone and catching up. And the problem with that is that you end up staying up really late and then you get into a bad sleep pattern. And I think also for the procrastination for an anxious person like myself, again, it's like what I said about earlier, it's that I don't want to think about loads of things. I want this time to be, I guess, relaxing. However, what I'm doing is I'm disturbing my sleep and disturbing myself from feeling energized the next morning and actually relaxing, because I'm just constantly staying switched on and I want my time to be not anxious. So I'm like, I'll just watch loads of things and I'll go on my phone and I'll play games and then I just feel rubbish for it the next morning. So yes, that's kind of my inspiration behind this video. And as I'm finding and telling you these tips, I want you to know that I'm also struggling, so I don't have it all sorted, and I want to work on this as much as perhaps you do as well. So let's get started. Well, I guess as we come into these tips, something I have discovered, because when I make these videos, I try and do research and I try and find things to give to you, because I'm not an expert and I don't know it all, and I'm learning just as much as you guys are. So I came across the idea of sleep hygiene, and I was like, what does that mean? Like, does it just mean making sure you're all nice and clean before you go to bed? But it's deeper than that. It's about the habits and the practices that you do during the daytime and the nighttime to make sure that you're having a good, restful night's sleep. Because sleep is so important to us, and I think it's something we don't always value, but it really affects how you handle life. And it affects mental health issues, it affects how you deal with stress, it affects energy levels, and obviously you're then taking all that into perhaps tasks that you're doing, and you might find that you're unable to concentrate or like I said, just have the energy to do that. So I think sleep hygiene is really important, and really I've had a bit of a realisation recently that I need to put some better habits and practices into my life in order to make sure I'm looking after myself, and sleep is one of them. So my first tip focuses on routine, and I will split that into two parts. So firstly is the routine of waking up every day at the same time, even on weekends. Now that might sound a bit like, to me that sounds a bit rubbish. I am the queen of lay-ins. I always have been, and it's probably because I never get enough sleep, so then I'll just laze in the mornings, which isn't helpful. And actually, if we that idea of catching up on sleep in the mornings can sometimes not help, because again, you're pushing everything later, which then probably means you'll get to bed later, and the cycle will continue in a bit of a skewed way towards not getting enough sleep. So the practice of waking up every day at a similar time will just get you into the habit of perhaps creating a morning routine for yourself, which can be really good to start you off for the day. And also it will just help then if you can set, you know, bedtime and morning time, then you'll get yourself into a pattern and a cycle. And sometimes with these things, you do need to be a bit stricter with yourself in order to help yourself. So like I said, that's kind of the morning routine, and then creating a bedtime routine for yourself. So really this needs to focus on a relaxing atmosphere before bed. Now I'd say at least an hour before bedtime, you need to be doing things that will help calm you. So this could be having a nice hot bath, which I love. This could be reading before bed. It could be doing stretches before bed and really getting to yourself a routine of deep breathing and stretches which will relax you, relax your body. Also, I've talked about this before, and something I do, especially for the people who have anxiety out here like myself, writing a to-do list, writing down anything that worries you or the things that you need to do for the next day, so they're out of your brain and hopefully it won't bother you when you're trying to sleep. So that can be really helpful. And the biggest one, which I am rubbish at, which I need to do, no devices. No devices before bed. No laying in your bed and scrolling on your phone before you go to sleep. The light from your phone will cause your body to think that you're awake. It will make you more alert, and then you'll go to bed. I always feel like really weird, like I've kind of got a headache and things like that, and I think it's because I'm on my screen a lot. And I actually think it's really important when you wake up as well not to grab for your phone. And I did it this morning, and I even told myself don't do it, and I did it. And that's actually a bit worrying, because I feel like I'm not very good at having my alone time. As in, I woke up and I couldn't just enjoy that moment of waking up. I thought, oh no, I don't really want to be sat with myself. I'll reach for my phone. And that's quite worrying. So I really think if we can make sure that's part of our sleep routine, no devices, bedtime and waking up, I think that's going to help with other aspects of life. Because I don't know about you, but I feel like my attention span is really not very good anymore. And I'm worried it's the device thing, because I never really used to use my phone a lot, but in the last few years, I feel myself reaching for it when I don't really need to. So yes, first big tip, routine before bed and when you wake up. Very, very important. Number 2, which I am really rubbish at, your bed is for sleep and potentially other intimate activities, but it is for sleep. It's not for watching TV. It's not for doing work in. It's not. And I do it all the time, and then I wonder why I can't get to sleep. I need to shift. I've just started a new course, for example, online, and I will do it in bed, and I've always been that way. I've always done it, and yes, it can be helpful, and yes, sometimes you will do it, and actually, I guess things suit people differently. However, I spend so much time in my bedroom, why would I then want to sleep in there too? I almost, when it gets to later on in the evening, feel really restless, like I want to get out of my bedroom, and that doesn't work when you're trying to sleep. So just be really mindful of where you're spending your time, and trying to make your bedroom conducive with the idea of rest and sleep, and not for doing every other activity like I do. Number 3, exercise. Again, something I need to do. See, I am telling this to myself as much as I'm telling it to you. Exercise. If you can exercise during the day, that's going to help you feel tired for later. Again, I will find that I have done a lot of sitting down tasks throughout the day, and they're in my bed, and then I feel really restless late at night and like I don't want to sleep. It's because probably my body's like, you need to move, you need to do stuff. And actually when I'm working, I feel tireder later, and that's because I've been active. So try and exercise during the day, but don't exercise 2 to 3 hours before bed, because that will leave you feeling pumped and you won't be able to sleep. So try and exercise during the day if you can. Again, everyone's routine is different. Sometimes you have to shift things around. But if you can try and do stretches and almost yoga practices before bed, that will relax you. But if you need to do like really hard hitting stuff, try and do that earlier in the day, and that will also help you to fall asleep. Number 4, caffeine. Now, I don't actually drink caffeine. I don't have tea or coffee, and I don't have fizzy drinks and stuff, just because I actually have never liked the taste, which is quite handy for me. But try and have caffeine up to a certain point. I think I read somewhere, try and have it up until 12, so like lunchtime, noon, because something to do with the caffeine having a half-life of 5 hours or something. So long story short, they were basically saying by 10 p.m. you'll still have 25% of that caffeine left in you. So have it up to a certain point in the morning and then stop, because otherwise you're going to find it hard to go to sleep. Be careful of alcohol consumption. Obviously, we all like to have a drink here and there, or you might not, that's fine. So I'm not saying never drink again, but just be wary if you're drinking a lot. I've actually found that sometimes, you know, I like to have a treat and have a little bit of red wine with a meal or something, and actually I have had trouble going to sleep afterwards. I almost feel like my body's a bit like, I don't know how to explain, a bit pumped. So when I read that, I kind of went, oh, maybe. So yeah, if you're actually wanting to create a good pattern, try not to drink too much alcohol. I don't know, I feel like I'm lecturing there, but that's a point. Do with that what you will. And also be conscious of food. Now for me, I've suffered really badly in the past with acid reflux. I still do a little bit. So try not to eat too late before bed, because then you'll be lying down and all that acidy stuff will be swimming all in you and it will feel horrible. And sometimes they say to raise your head a little bit to stop that as well on your pillows. So things to be mindful of: caffeine, alcohol, and when you last eat. Number 5, make sure your bedroom environment is comfortable. It's no use sleeping on a mattress that's really uncomfortable. Obviously, I know that mattresses can be expensive and this and that, but if you can afford to get a new one. I had a childhood mattress for a very long time, and when I actually saved up money when I moved to getting a double bed quite a few years ago, and I got a double mattress, I was like, oh my goodness, I didn't realise how old my other one was. So perhaps you might need to, if you can, you know, rejiggle that. Make sure you have comfortable pillows and blankets, and also that your environment. When I was really struggling with my depression, my room went out the window. Again, I really did share what that looked like in a past video, and I think if you can make sure that your room is also giving off a relaxing atmosphere and is not too messy. I couldn't even walk in my room at uni, and I would just kind of hop over to my bed. I had things all on my bed still, and I would sleep like, I had a double bed and I'd sleep in half of it and even less because I had things on my bed. So just make sure that your atmosphere is comfortable and relaxing, because that will also help you sleep. And finally, number 6, I've kind of merged 2 points together. My first point would be to be careful of napping. Now obviously if you're poorly and you're suffering with a mental health condition, then like I said, you're poorly, so that will change. Like with anything, sometimes you do need to get more rest if you had a cold or this and that, and you do need to nap and to sleep. So that's okay. But if, you know, you're feeling quite fit and healthy and you're just struggling with your sleep, if you can, try not to nap in the day. If anything, make that you go to bed a bit earlier because you are feeling tired. And then also, if you're lying in bed for 15 to 20 minutes and you still haven't fallen asleep, get out of bed, do something else, or just, I don't know, go and sit on the sofa and relax, and don't go to bed until you feel sleepy again. Perhaps don't watch TV and things like that. Maybe go sit on the sofa and do some reading. Then maybe that will make you feel sleepy, and then you go back to bed. I feel like if you watch TV or things like that, it will make you awake again. So yeah, those are my tips about how to get a good night's sleep. I hope you found them helpful. I definitely did when I read them, and I think my next few videos will really be, I mean, with all my videos, they're tips on how I would like to improve my life, and hopefully they help you. But I've just had a bit of a realisation lately that I am getting in a better place with my mental health, but I feel now is the time for me to level up in my life in the sense of making some changes and really implementing some good habits so I can keep my mental health well. I feel like at the moment I can slip quite easily back into down days, and it might be because I'm not implementing good practices, like maintaining them. I will do them, but not consistently, and I think that's where I'm falling down again into the hole a little bit. So yes, I've got some things coming up that like challenges and, like I said, practices that I want to implement into my life. So hopefully I'll make some videos on them and I can share them with you. And I'm feeling a lot better than last week. If you saw last week's video, I wasn't in the best place. I'm feeling a bit better. I feel like a cloud has been lifted, and I feel like when that happens, you realise what a tricky spot you were in before because you have the comparison. And I didn't really realise how much my head was just in a really negative place. So yes, I feel better. Thank you guys for your well wishes and support. And I hope everyone has a lovely week, and I'll see you very soon. Bye. Then, start that again. My mind was somewhere else. Okay. I'm buying more books than the rate I am reading them, which means I have a lot of books.